Good evening. Today we'll be studying the 8th and final chapter of Hilchot Shevitat Yom Tov. This chapter will deal with certain details of melachot, some that are prohibited, some are permissible on Yom Tov. And the second part of this chapter towards the end will be speaking about different procedures on the eve of Yom Tov, certain melachot that are permitted and certain melachot that are prohibited. הלכות שביתת עשור, פרק ח' הלכה א'. נהרות המושכים מן האגמים, מותר להשקות בהן בית השלהים במועד, והוא שלא פסקו. It is permissible to draw water canals that draw water from lakes. It is permissible to have this water, to use this water to irrigate an irrigated field. As we talked about, there are different types of field, irrigated fields, and fields that are get their water from rain. So Bet HaShelahin is an irrigated field, and this is all assuming that the flow doesn't stop from the canal or lake to the irrigated field. That way, as we talked about before, there is no Torah here involved. There is no excess toil for a person. Rather, the water is simply continued from the lake to the irrigated field. So to pools or irrigated canals that pass through the Bet HaShelahin, it is permissible to water the Bet HaShelahin from these pools or canals. מבית השלהין ועדיין היא נוטפת, מותר להשקות ממנה בית השלהין אחרת, והוא שלא פסק המעיין המשקה בית השלהין העליונה. So too, a pool that was running from Bet HaShelahin, and is still running, it is permissible to water from that Bet HaShelahin to another Bet HaShelahin using a running body of water or a canal. And this is all assuming that the ma'ayan, the spring, that the spring on top that is watering the Bet HaShelahin on the upper level, the flow didn't stop from another place, and there's no Torah for you to help allow the flow of water to go, and to make, for example, a ditch to allow the water to flow from the one Bet HaShelahin to another with this berecha that is running. Halacha bet. Aruga, a garden, shechitzia namuch v'chitzia gavoa, that has an upper level and a lower level. Lo yidem makom namuch lashkot makom gavoa mipnei shehu torah yater. Person should not water from the lower part to the higher part, because it would cause a person to have excess Torah. However, it is permissible, on a different note, it is permissible to water plants or vegetables in order for one to eat them on Chol HaMoed. However, if a person watered them simply to improve their appearance and not to eat them on the Moed, it is prohibited. Again, just a reminder, when we talk about Moed, we're talking about Hullo Shel Moed. Halacha Gimel. En osin arugot be'ikere hagefanim kedei sheyitmale mayim. It is prohibited to make grooves on the roots or grapevines in order for these grooves to be filled with water. However, if these grooves or ditches were already made, and they were damaged, it is permissible for a person to fix them on the moed. So to an irrigated canal that was damaged, a person is permitted to fix it. How so? If it was deep 1 tefach, a person may dig up to a depth of 6 tefachim. However, if it was 2 tefachim deep, one may dig up to a depth of 7. Umoshchin et hamayim me'ilan le'ilan, one may lead water from one tree to another, provided that he doesn't go around and lead water to the entire field. However, if the field was wet, you may lead water to the entire field because there isn't a lot of torach as the field is already wet. So too it is permitted to sprinkle water on a field during the moed. As all of these things don't have too much torach involved. זרעים שלא שתו מלפני המועד, seeds that weren't watered prior to the מועד, לא ישכם במועד, מפני שהם צריכים מים רבים ויבוא לידי טורח יתר. Person may not water them on the מועד because seeds need a lot of water and it would cause a person to work hard unnecessarily on the moed. So too is permitted to deflect a canal of water from one place to another and to open up a stream of water that was blocked. אם היה צריך להן, חוטטין אותן ושפין את צדקיהן, אבל אין חופרין אותן לכתחילה. Cisterns or ditches or private caves, if a person needed them for the moed, one may clean them and fill in their cracks. However, new ones shouldn't be dug because digging a new cistern or a new ditch is Torah that Chachamim didn't want a person to go through on the Moed. It is permitted to lead water into these cisterns and ditches, despite the fact that he may not necessarily need it. A pool to wash clothes is permitted to be made on the Moed. Rats or other types of animals or vermin that destroy trees, one may hunt them on the moed. However, there's a distinction between a field with trees and a field in a cornfield. So a field with trees, one may hunt as he would ordinarily do so. One just simply digs into the ground, places the trap there. However, if it was a cornfield that was next to a sede ilan, a field with trees, he is permitted to put the trap in the cornfield. However, he has to do it with a shinui in order for the rats or other types of vermin not to come and destroy the field. How exactly does one hunt or trap these vermin with a shinui? נועץ שיפוט בארץ ומכה בקרדום ואחר כך ינתקנו ונמצא מקומו גומה. A person may drive in metal pegs into the ground, hit them with a hammer, and then pull out the peg, and by doing so, you make the hole for the trap with this peg, and not simply dig as you would ordinarily do on a weekday. Halacha vav. Kotel gina shenafal, a wall of a garden that fell. Bonehu ma'aseh hediot, o gorer oto bekanim vegoma v'chayotze bahena. You may build it as a person ordinarily would, in contrast to the way an expert may do so. Or you can fence it off with reeds or with bulrush or anything of the sort. So too, if there was a fence one made for his roof, in order for people not to fall off the roof, this is also a mitzvat aseh, to make a roof for one's, to make a fence for one's roof, rather. You can make it as a regular person would make this fence for the roof. However, a wall of a courtyard that fell, one may build it as an expert may build it. However, if the wall was leaning and about to fall, one may demolish it because it's dangerous, and you may build it however a craftsman would build it. Bonei Adam itztaba leshev O lishan aleha. A person may build a type of platform or bench in order to sit or sleep on it on the moed. Hatzir ve'hatzinor ve'akora ve'man'ul ve'maftech shenishberu, a hinge of a door or a socket of a door or the top post of where the door is, and a lock and the key that broke. Metakenin b'moed kedarko, one may fix it on the moed as an expert might. Ben shela barzel, ben shela etz, whether it be made from metal or wood. Shezeh hefsed gadol hu, because this not fixing the lock or the door can cause a great deal of monetary damage. She'im yaniach hapetach batuach udlatot shvurot, as if a person would leave his door unlocked and his lock unlocked rather, and his door broken. Someone can come and take everything that a person has in his house. And we also mentioned in Perek Zayin that any action that would be necessary, anything that might cause monetary loss, a great deal of monetary loss, does not need a shinui to be done and to avoid the loss. הלכה ח' אין חופרין קבר להיות מוכן למת שימות ואין בונים אותו. One may not dig a grave in order for it to be ready for an individual who is expected to pass away. ואין בונים אותו, and one may not build a tomb either. אבל אם היה עשוי, הרי זה מתקנו במועד. However, if it was already made, either the tomb, if the tomb was already made, one may modify it on Hol HaMoed and improve it. Ketzad, how so? Mosif b'midato, mekatzer b'midato, one may add to its length or width, or shorten the tomb. Kedei sheyeh nachon le'et sheyikaver bo, so it may be ready for when a person would be placed in it in order to be buried. En mefanin et hamet ve'et ha'atzamot mikever lekever, it is prohibited to transfer a corpse or bones from one grave to another. Lo mechubad levazui velo mibazui limchubad, not from a dignified one to a less dignified one, and not from a less dignified one to a more dignified one. Ve'asur la'asot ken le'olam b'shar yamim, so too it is prohibited to transfer a corpse or a grave on any other day aside from it being Hol HaMoed. Ela im ken haya betoch shelo, unless it was in his designated place that he was going to be buried. Mefanehu b'shar hayamim afilu min hamechubad labazui. A person may transfer the corpse or the bones on a regular day, in contrast to it being again on Hol HaMoed, even from a more dignified place to a less dignified place. Halacha tet. אין מטלעין את האילנות ולא מזהמין את הנטיעות ולא מגמזין. Person may not remove maggots from trees or put bad smelling oil on the roots to repel insects, and one may not tap the tree in order to start the flow of sap. אבל סכין את האילנות ואת הפירות שבהן בשמן. However, a person may anoint trees or fruits with oil. One may remove flax, as it may be used to clean or to dry off a person on the moed. And one may harvest a type of plant called kuskuta. That's what it's called in English. I'm not sure exactly what plant this is. As it is, you can use this kuskuta to brew beer on Hol HaMoed, and you would probably drink it on the moed. And so to anything of this sort. One may not bring in his cattle to a closed area in order to fertilize the ground, as he is fertilizing his field on the moed. However, if these sheep came into a certain place on their own and fertilized the ground, it is permissible. And one may not help a shepherd to do this. And one may not appoint or give over someone to guard the sheep and to keep the sheep moving. היה שכיר שבת, שכיר חודש, שכיר שנה, שכיר שבוע, מסייעין אותו. However, if the shepherd was employed by week, by month, by year, or employed for 7 years, he may assist. ושוכרים שומר לנער הצאן ממקום למקום, and you can hire someone to keep the sheep moving from place to place, כדי שיסבילו כל השדה, in order for them to fertilize the entire field. הזבל שבחצר מסלקין אותו לצדדים, manure that was in a courtyard may be removed to the sides. ואם נעשת חצר כרפת בקר, מוציאין אותו לאשפה. However, if a courtyard was made as like a cowshed, meaning there was manure all over the place, the manure may be taken to a garbage dump. In contrast to if there was just a little bit of manure, it may be removed to the side and not taken to a garbage dump. However, if there was a lot of manure, it may be taken to a garbage dump. Halacha Yod Aleph. Hamashve peneh hakarka. It's one who levels the surface of the ground. Im nitkaven letaken makom she'amid bo keri shelitvua or she'yadush bo mutar. If a person's intention in leveling the surface of the ground was to pile his harvest in his produce, or to thresh in that place, it is permissible. However, if the leveling of the surface of the ground was done simply to work the land, it is prohibited. So to someone who collects wood from his field. If a person's when this person is collecting the wood, he's collecting for the actual wood itself, it is permissible. However, if he is doing so to improve the field or the land, it is prohibited. So to a person who opens up a place that water can flow through in his field. If a person was doing so to gather fish in that place, presumably so he can eat the fish on the mu'ed, it is permissible. However, if he did so to water the field, is prohibited. So to someone who cuts branches from a palm tree. If a person intended to feed his animal with the branches, it is permissible. However, if his intention in cutting the branches was to improve the tree and to work the tree, it is prohibited. And truly, in a way a person does any of these types of work, his intention is pretty clear, and a person can't really fool anyone in terms of these types of actions. And the principal rule for this past halacha is if you need something for the mu'ed, and you're doing an action for the purpose of using the item or the produce or the fish or whatever, or the wood or whatever it might be for the mu'ed, it is permissible. However, if your intention was to work the land, it is prohibited. Tanur v'chirayim she'efshar yiveshu ve'yofeh bahen b'mu'ed osinotan. A stove or an oven that can dry out to bake in order for one to bake on them during the mu'ed, is permitted to manufacture them. Ve'imlav in osinotan. However, if they wouldn't be ready by the time of the mu'ed, it is prohibited to manufacture them. Uvenkach bonin al cheres shel tanur ve'al hakira hatefela shelahen. However, it is permissible to add plaster on a stove or on an oven, on the unfinished part of it. Sagerin et hamitot. So too, it is permissible to close ropes that were used back in the day for beds. Menokrin et harehaim. So too, it is permissible to scrape and clean millstones. Ufothin lahen ayin. So too, the way millstones were is that there would be a stone in the middle, and the stone would be placed in a pierced spot designated for this stone. So the middle of the millstone can be pierced in order to put the stone in the middle. Um'amidin otan, you can set up the millstone as well. So to a water channel to operate the mill may be made on the mu'id. Yod Gimel. Zoftin et havit kedesh lo yifsad hayayin. One may coat with tar a barrel in order for the wine inside it not to ruin. Zoftin et bakbuk mipnei she'en botorah. So too it is permitted to coat with tar a bottle because there isn't so much excess toil in doing so. Vesotmin pi havit shel hashecha shekedesh lo tifased. And the um, the the place where the liquid leaves the barrel of beer or another type of liquor may be closed on the moed in order for it not to be ruined. And one may cover plucked figs with straw in order for them not to be ruined by the heat. And the straw would keep the heat, would give shade for these figs and cause them not to be ruined and preserve them. And one may soften clothes with one's hands because there's no skill required for this. However, it is prohibited to make the ties of sleeves of a garment because it is an expert's work and there is skill required for this. And so to anything of this sort. One may trim hooves of a donkey operating one's mill. One may build a feeding trough for an animal. A horse that one rides on it, one may trim its hooves and brush it in order to make it look nice. However, it is prohibited to mate two animals on the mu'ed. However, it is permitted to bloodlet an animal, and we do not prevent an animal from being healed on the mu'ed. So to any drink or food that is not typical for a healthy person to eat, rather it is solely eaten or drunk for health purposes, it is permitted for a person to drink or eat them on the mu'id. Tetzayin. Tetvav. En mefanin mehatzer lehatzer b'mu'id. It's prohibited to move one's object from one courtyard to another on Chol Moed. Lo miki'ura lena'a velo mena'a leki'ura. Not from a nice area to a less nice area, and not from a less nice area to a nicer area. Aval mefanehu mibayit lebayit be'ota hatzer. However, it's permitted to move one's object from one house to another in the same hatzer. ומביאים כלים שהן לצורך המועד מבית האומן, כגון כרים וכסתות וחוסות וצלוחיות, אבל כלים שאינם צריכים, כגון מחרשה מן הלוטש או צמר מבית הצבע, אין מביאים. So it is permissible for one to take utensils that one would typically use for Chol HaMoed from the house of a craftsman, for example, pillows or a blanket or plates or cups. However, utensils that a person would not have any use for them on the Moed, for example, a plow from the sharpener, or wool from the dyer, person that would dye the wool, or other types of cotton, a person may not bring that from the house of the craftsman. However, if the craftsman doesn't have what to eat on the Moed, you may pay him, but you leave the merchandise by him. However, if a person does not believe that the craftsman would give it to this individual after the Moed, he may leave it in the house next door. However, if a person is suspect that they may be stolen, he can take the merchandise to another hatzer. However, he should not bring it back to his home because people might see. Presumably, people would see and assume that this person is using this plow or dye for things not during the Moed, and that he is using, and that these things were fixed on the Moed specifically to be used on the Moed. Halakha Tet Zayin. Now we're going to shift to the second topic of this chapter of things that are permissible and prohibited to do on the eve of Yom Tov. And there are certain, as we'll see, certain times and certain holidays that Chachamim prohibited certain melachot to be done, and certain melachot were permissible to be done, as we'll see. הלכה ט"ז אסור לעשות מלאכה בערבי ימים טובים מן המנחה ולמעלה כמו ערבי שבתות. It's prohibited for one to do melacha on the eve of Yom Tov from the minha onwards, which is, as we've mentioned a few times already in the Mishne Tora, 9.5 hours. And the hours that we're referring to here are sha'ot zmaniyot, just like on the eve of Shabbat. And if a person does melacha during this time, he does not see a sign of beracha in the work that he did during that time. And he should be reproved. And we compel him to stop doing melacha during that time. However, we do not give him, he is not liable for lashes for violating a rabbinic prohibition. And we don't even need to mention that we do not obviously put him in nidui. However, on the eve of Pesach, after midday, anyone who does melacha after midday would be put in nidui, which is excommunication. And obviously, if he was not excommunicated, he is liable for violating a rabbinic prohibition and would be liable for makat mardut. Because the 14th of Nisan, which is Erev Pesach, is not like the other evenings of Yom Tov, because on the evening of Pesach, there is the Korban Hagigah and the Korban Pesach that is brought. הלכה י"ז לפיכך יום 14 אסור בעשיית מלאכה בדברי סופרים כמו חולו של המועד, והוא קל מחולו של המועד, ואינו אסור אלא מחצי היום, שהוא זמן השחיטה, אבל מהנצח החמה עד חצי היום תלוי במנהג. מקום שנהגו לעשות עושים, מקום שנהגו שלא לעשות אין עושים. Therefore, on the eve of the 14th of Nisan, melacha is prohibited to be done from a rabbinic prohibition, just as melacha is prohibited to be done on Hulosh al-Moed. However, it is less stringent than Hulosh al-Moed, and melacha is only prohibited from midday onwards, as midday is the time of the Shevitat Korban Pesach. However, from sunrise up to midday, it depends on whatever is customary in the locale that a person is in. In a locale that melacha is done, one may do melacha there. However, in a locale that melacha is not done, one may not do melacha in that place. הלכה י"ח ואפילו במקום שנהגו לעשות לא יתחיל כתחילה לעשות מלאכה ב14, אף על פי שהוא יכול לגומרה קודם חצות, אלא 3 אומנויות בלבד הן שמתחילים במקום שנהגו לעשות ועושים עד חצות ואלו הן החייטין והספרין והכובסין. However, in a place that it was customary to do melacha, one may not begin the melacha on the eve of the 14th, despite the fact that he can finish the melacha prior to Hatzot. However, there are 3 professions and crafts only that if one began them in a place that that it was customary to do melacha in that place, one may do so up to Hatzot. Ve'eluhen, and there are the following: tailors, barbers, and launderers. Avat she'ar umanuyot, however, other crafts and professions, אם התחיל בה קודם 14 הוא שגומר עד חצות, שאין העם צריכים לשאר אומנויות צורך הרבה. However, other crafts and professions, if one began them prior to the 14th, and he can finish it up to Hatzot, they shouldn't be done, as the tailors, barbers, and launderers are typically needed prior to Yom Tov, and people would typically go to these places before Yom Tov again, and Chachamim allowed these three crafts. And again, this is only in a place that it was customary to do melacha. However, in a place that it was not customary to do melacha, this is irrelevant. הלכה י"ט. ההולך ממקום שעושים למקום שאין עושים, לא יעשה ביישוב מפני המחלוקת, אבל עושהו במדבר. If a person went from a place that they do melacha to a place that melacha is not done, he may not do the melacha in an inhabited area, as it would cause strife. However, one may do so in a deserted area. However, if a person came from a place that melacha was not done to a place that melacha is done, he may not do melacha in that place. נותנים עליו חומרי מקום שיצא משם וחומרי מקום שהלך לשם. A person must abide by the stringencies of a place that he left and abide by the stringencies of the place that he arrived to. However, if despite this fact he should not let it appear to the locals that he is refraining from melacha because it is prohibited. A person should never deviate from the local practice, because we really do not want to cause strife within the community. So to a person whose intention is to return to his place, he should keep the practice of his original place, both for stringent, both in stringencies and in leniencies. And this is all, again, for a person not to seem this is all for a person not to deviate from the local practice and to appear that he is deviating from the locals, because again it would cause strife. And Harambam actually in Hilchot Avodah Zarah, if anyone remembers, this idea of le'olam ali she'en adam mipnei machloket is included in the isur of lotit godedu, that lo te'asu agudot, that Am Yisrael should not be made into small groups and factions, and Chachamim really tried to promote as much unity as possible within the Jewish nation. Halacha Chaf, final halacha. Molechin umevi'in kelim mibet ha'uman ב-14 אחר חצות, אף על פי שאינן לצורך המועד. A person may bring utensils and may bring and take utensils from the home of a craftsman on the 14th of Nisan after Hatzot, despite the fact that he may not need them for the Moed. Vegorfin zevel mitachat reglei behema umotziin oto la'ashpa. It is permitted to rake dung from under the legs of the animals and take it to the dumpster. Umoshivin shovachin latarnegolot. Hens may be allowed to sit on the eggs. ותרנגולת שישבה 3 ימים או יותר על הביצים ומתה, מושיבים אחרת תחתיה ב-14 כדי שלא ייפסדו הביצים. However, if a hen sat on the eggs for 3 days or more and died, another hen may be taken and placed on those eggs in order for those eggs not to go bad. Uvam mo'ed and moshivin. However, on Hol HaMoed, it is prohibited to put a hen on these eggs because it would be hard to get another hen to sit on another set of eggs, and it would cause unnecessary torah. However, if the original hen left its eggs, one may return that hen on the mo'ed back to its place because there wouldn't be so much of a torah to get the hen to sit on its original eggs. And with that, we finish Hilchot Shevitat Yom Tov. Be'ezat Hashem, we'll be studying Hilchot Hametz Umasa tomorrow.